I want to make a disclaimer that no, I'm not a professional counselor or a professional person that is been trained to do some technique. This is something that I made up for myself. I have spent the last 25 years doing personal growth work and working with a lot of different teachers, and I've sort of grabbed from all these different things and created these processes for myself. And so I'm just sharing them so that you can give them a try. They just come from experience, so that's where they come from. So if you do need a professional, if you are going through something difficult, please make sure that you're doing that too. You can still do this because it's not going to hurt you, but you can also get the support that you need with other things as well. So do that too. All right, so this is the first day of your process. This part is going to be the toughest part that you'll do. This is the hard stuff. Some of you are familiar with some of this type of work and maybe have done it before. And I'm going to kind of bring in some different elements that I use to be able to help me get to sort of the other side of this. So I use my creativity to kind of come up with different ideas and different ways that we can, make this really a process of acceptance, of integration, of bringing these things in. So your first step is going to be really being completely honest with yourself. So, when we talked about the goal setting, so, quite often you'll sit down and say, yes, I want this goal, I want this, job or this promotion, or I want, lose weight, or I want to, get myself organized. I'm, going to do all those things. So what I want you to do is go beyond what it is that you think you want. I want you to completely erase that from your mind. I want you to be really honest with yourself and say, if I really had 30 days, 60 days, 90 days to do whatever I wanted, and to feel exactly how I wanted to feel, if I really wanted to do it, what would that be? And quite often, you'll find that it's, people are saying, I wouldn't do anything. I'd like sit down and relax, and I would enjoy myself, and I would just, take some time off, right? Or, I'd go to whatever, I'd go sit on the beach, things like that. So, and a lot of times what we're doing is we're doing to escape, ourselves, and we're doing to escape the feelings where, maybe we're not happy in a relationship or a job or whatever, or we've been through a loss, or we've been through, difficult things. And, our first inclination is to want to push that aside and not be with it. And this is the day that I'm going to ask you to be with it. If you're going through something really difficult, especially a loss or things where you're in the middle of a grieving process, you may have to do this several times throughout this process, and just do it when you feel called that you need to do that, or set yourself once a week. I'm gonna sit and do this process, and I'm gonna check in with myself. So you're not gonna hide from yourself. You're going to be brutally honest with yourself about how you're feeling. And really, really truthful with it. And you're going to say the words, and you're going to name them, and you're going to call it out exactly as it is. So this is where it's hard. You have to sit and get very, very quiet. And what I want you to do is identify these feelings in their purest form. So what I mean by that is, I don't want you to jump into the story, or try not to jump into the story. Like I hate my job. I feel, and what is the core feeling in that? I feel frustrated. I feel angry. And then you want to jump into the story because my boss did da 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 da. Or, I'm upset with myself because I've, not been organized and I can't, make myself do it, and all the reasons why, blah, Anyway, so we do that and we want to jump into the story. So I want you to totally not do that. I want you to sit as quietly as you can. Sit in a chair, sit on the bed, sit on the couch, make yourself as comfortable as you possibly can. You can do this, go between having your eyes closed, open, if you need to write anything down, if anything comes up, please just go ahead and do that. But I want it to be a quiet, uninterrupted time. And you're going to sit inside your body and you're going to allow, and this is really crazy because I did this process 15 years ago. And, I did recently a meditation workshop with Kyle Cease, and he basically talked about the same, type of process, really. And so this is kind of that, and then I've, added the element that he added at the end that I find really, really super helpful. So you're going to sit with it and you're going to sit into it. You're going to sit quietly in this space. You can have your cup of tea. You can, sip that while you're going to identify your feelings. You're not going to say, I am angry. I am, stupid because I didn't get this done. Beat yourself up. This is not the place to do that. You can say, I feel shame. I feel embarrassed. Because, and again, try not to go into the story, just into the feeling. So you're going to keep doing that, and you're going to sit with it as each thing comes up. So, and you're also going to notice if there's going to be, pain in your body anywhere, or, a busyness in your head, or my mind is too hectic. Okay, my mind is hectic. I feel scattered. And you're going to identify these different emotions. If you can sit in it, and you're going to just do it and just do it quietly. So you're going to I feel a pain in my hip. And you hold that pain and just sit with it. You're going to keep doing all of these different emotions that are going to come up. So you're going to do, I feel angry, I feel sad, I feel tired, I feel exhausted. You're going to feel all of these emotions. And I want you to really, really feel them. So then as you feel each of these things, as you come up, you're going to take this process where Kyle takes it to this next evolution, to be able to say, and you're allowed to be here in my body. You're going to hold space for this thing in a real way. You're going to allow yourself to feel that feeling, and you're going to sit with it and say, you're allowed to be in my body. I've got you. I'm holding you. If you need to melt down and you need to cry, let yourself cry. Just let that come out and accept it. So this is like a radical acceptance of ourselves and our own feelings. We are so quick to want to skirt through the sad and the angry and go, nope, I just got to think the positive thought and I've just got to push that away. The problem is your body is not going to let you do that. Your body holds the resonance of that anger and that sadness and all those things. It can morph into sickness, but it also will come out at really inappropriate times. It will get triggered by something and it will activate, and it is a full-blown 2-year-old child laying in the middle of the floor, screaming and yelling and telling you, demanding you to listen and give it its attention. And that will be at a shitty time. So if you can do this at a time where you can allow yourself to go through it completely and just be with it and give it space. Give the pain space. You're allowed to be there. I feel this lump in my leg, and you're allowed to be there. I've got you. Act like you're the parent. This is like child work, like inner child work that people do sometimes too. It's like that same kind of idea, but you're just holding space for it. You're just holding it with huge love and understanding and just saying, I've got you. So if you run into anything that's really, really difficult for you, one of the visualizations that I use quite frequently, because you want to integrate this into yourself and accept this into your body, and accept this into your soul, accept this into these things that you are given, these challenges, these pains, all these things are actually enormous gifts for you, and they're being given to you in a way that is there for you to blossom into sort of the next evolution of yourself. And each time you try and push it away, you're pushing away that gift and you're ignoring it. There's been some unbelievably painful things that I've gone through in my life, and there's been times where I would say I would never have wanted to go through that in a million years, and I would never want to revisit that. But I will tell you this. I built resiliency from that. I built strength and confidence in myself from those things. I learned so much about myself. Those are the things that have given me the deepest wisdom and the deepest compassion and understanding. Glennon Doyle is a beautiful author that I just adore. And she was talking about children and how we want to save them from all the things that are going wrong, and we want to tell them, like we want to bubble wrap them, and and be there to make sure that nothing ever happens to them. And she said so profoundly, it is not that you want to keep your children out of the fire. Send them directly into the fire and teach them that they're fireproof. And that's what we're talking about. I use the analogy of fire because that is a process that I've made for myself that is really, really helpful with the really difficult things that I have to sit with. So when you're sitting in this sort of meditative state and you're just allowing these feelings to come, and if you run into anything that's really quite difficult, you can do one of two things. You can either sit, actually start sitting on the side. So I want you to, in front of yourself, I want you to take this, what's in front of you, and I want you to take these things, each of these things, the difficult, challenging things that you're having issues with, or that you're just stuck on, or that are really, really hard for you, painful breakups, or anger at family members, or whatever it is. And I want you to use them as if they're pieces of wood that are sitting beside you. And I want you to lift up those pieces of wood. And I want you to identify, this is where you don't go too far into the story, but just allow to identify, this is the thing that's really stuck that I'm feeling I've attached my anger to. Like I've attached my anger or my emotion to this. And I want you to pretend that you've built a fire in front of you. And I want you to throw the wood into the fire. And I want you to watch it burn. And I want you to be with it. And I want you to watch it burn, turn into this beautiful flame. And I want you to continue to keep throwing these things into the fire and throwing them there and being with them. And then you're safe. You're not going to, it's an imaginary fire, so you're not going to get burnt. But what I want you to do is I want you to now go and step into the center of the fire. I want you to stand in it, and I want you to be like the phoenix. I want you to be engulfed by the fire. I don't want you to burn. You can imagine however you want. You can burn yourself down to the ground and reemerge if you want to. Or you can do what I do, which is I take those things as if all of those things are being etched in beautiful patterns on my body. They're like almost like an intricate henna, or a, what is that, metal etching. You know, it's becoming into my body, and it's etching onto this beautiful story of all the scars and all of the difficult things. There's a beautiful, I think it's Japanese type of art, that where they take broken pots, and once they're broken, they actually take them and they use gold to you know, put them back together. So they create this absolutely fantastic piece, but it's this broken pot that has become this beautiful piece of art. You are a beautiful piece of art because of all your broken pieces, and let that emblazon onto your body and into your soul and let it soak into the center of your body. Let it soak in. Let that fire burn and burn and burn, and let the whole thing, you know, emblazon these things on your body. And then I want you to stand there, and then as the fire goes out, just let the ash, let it all fall away and fall to the ground, and let it be there, and then step out of it, knowing that you've accepted these really difficult parts of yourself because they're beautiful, and let them be that. So this is not an easy process, so I've explained the whole process to you. Modify it as you need to. Do as little or as a lot, you know, as much as you can. If you do have PTSD or you have anything like that, and you find yourself getting too triggered, because you know that can happen, just back it off. Only go to the edge where you can go, but go as far as you can to integrate into that feeling of acceptance, of accepting that this experience is my blessing and a gift to me for this. So that's our first night. Enjoy, and write like crazy when you're done if you feel like it, or don't. Maybe make a few notes of the things that you felt along the way, and you can leave them, you can throw them in the fire if you want to, but this is a letting go, but it's also not, it's not a releasing and we're trying to push it away. It's integrating it into our experience, and with love and kindness and compassion. So it'll be tough, but you've got this, and I'm right here if you need me. Oh, and don't let me forget that make sure you drink lots of water. And as you're going through this emotional process, you're going to have to do some extra sleep, maybe let yourself sleep in, or go to bed early if you need to. And maybe even go do a little of an Epsom salt bath or a bubble bath or something. Epsom salts can be really good because of the magnesium in the body, and it can help. You're moving things in the cells of your body that are stored in your body when you're connecting to these emotions. So allowing yourself to, magnesium can be a really good detoxifier to help you release that. So yeah, go do that.